And the last section that we're looking at is functions and conditionals. Okay, so we've already done some of this stuff. So what is function? Well, print is one function where it just takes your stuff and it's printing it out to the console. And the good thing about functions is basically in print 5 letters, you are making all of this code underlying stuff happen, and you don't even have to think about it. Because the difference between this, just having a number and then actually printing it out, there's actually a lot of code. You gotta go behind the scenes and tell your console thing to print out the stuff. It's probably crazy, weird code that looks like that. So print is just works just fine. There we go. But so if you look at the built-in functions, I'll go to Python built-in functions. There's not too many of them. There's 30 or something. But we want to make our own because that's the real magic of programming, is to make functions. Say I want to have one that's just make helicopter, and then usually I start with a lowercase letter. And I can just run this function, and now just all this crazy picture stuff happens on the screen just because I just ran this function that was later, and then I can do it oh crap. Then I can do it 100. Why isn't this working? Do it 100 times, and then it will happen a lot, and I won't have to code it every single time, right? You understand. Then I just did something. Cancel. Okay. So how do we define our own functions? Well, you've done this in homeworks, but I'll just show you anyway. So, let's do something weird. Let's make our own print function. Never ever do this, but say I'm gonna define print. Actually, am I allowed to do this? I'm not gonna do this. It's gonna be weird. But a fun fact: you can actually do stuff like this. That's just weird. Don't ever do that, but it works. Sorry, not supposed to say that. Let's make our own function. Def starts with def, and then I'm going to name it anything you want. I'm going to call mine pizza, and then there we go. And I'm just going to print hi, or who, I guess. So then if I run this file, what happens? Nothing, right? Because I have to run the function. So if I say pizza, there we go. Pizza prints Pizza prints hi. There we go. Now, what if I decide to print out pizza? Print out pizza. Well, it's going to give me none too, right? Because it's saying print what pizza returns. Pizza returns nothing. And when you usually see this, it makes more sense, I guess, if you say pizza, all it does returns 6. Now I'm going to say, actually I'm going to make it the same. I'm going to say print hi. And then I'm going to say, if I just run pizza, it's going to show me nothing, right? Because that's just writing hi right there, like that in your program, not doing anything. So just like you would print out hi, we're going to print out pizza. Because then we will be basically printing out hi. There we go. And then, so we can have multiple arguments within here. There's some weird thing where crap. Yeah, never mind. You know that. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So we have our arguments in our function. So if I have pizza x, y, and z, then I can say print. I'm gonna return x plus y plus z. So I can rename this file on the sum of x, y, z, right? I mean, you've done this. Sum of x, y, z. So if I do 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. Actually, sum is already a built-in thing, so I'm going to call it sum yay. That's what I usually do when it's a keyword. So I'm slowing down a bit. I'm kind of tired. So yeah, that's the arguments they pass in the function. Remember that these are not the same as global variables. We have x here. It's not the same as this right here. Basically, it's saying, so basically it's saying, when they use this function, they're going to pass in 3 things, and I want you to return what? Well, the first thing, and then the second thing. It's basically, you can call these anything you want. It's just a way for you to refer to what they passed in here. And then, do you have to know defaults? There's some cool thing where you can say z equals 0, and then that way this will run 8. But if I want to just pass in 2 numbers, it will just pretend the third one was 0. If I said z equals 0, or I'm gonna make it 7. I guess it will pretend z is 7 if you don't pass it in. I don't know if you need to know that. I don't see it on this list, actually, so I'm just going to go ahead and say you don't need to know. And then, so return, we did that. It's just, you know, one way you can think of it is like when you run the function, what it's replacing that little like thing with, because we're returning this x plus y plus z. And then remember, if you print if you have a function that just like says like I don't know, does stuff and it doesn't return anything, and then yeah, it's gonna give you none because it doesn't return anything. And then invocation, yep, that's when you run the function. So like if I run some yay like that, I'm gonna make this do something. Oh, and I get rid of these arguments too. There we go. Just printed out that. And if we didn't do this, sometimes I forget where I just define my function and then nothing happened. Oh, what happened? Oh, I have to run my function in here like that, and then it will run. And then creation and conclusion of local scope. Oh, so if we have y equals 0, or say 7, in this, I'm going to call it high, not like some yay. So we have a function high, and it's going to make y equal to 7. Get rid of this. So then, why can't I just do print y out here? Well, we don't have a y because the y is inside the scope of this function, and we don't have a y in the global scope. So this y is done. You can't use it anymore, and it doesn't matter like anyway because like if you got a 0, it's still gonna be 0. So like this is not gonna affect the. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah. And then why do we like functions? Well, I said that it's like the magic of programming. It's really like doing all this stuff beneath the hood. You don't have to worry about. You just write print and it works, or make helicopter, or do this thing that I've already taken care of, or some other guy at my company's already done. Like I'm just gonna do it. And then if, elif, and else. Let's just do one of these real quick. So I'm gonna say if 5 is greater than 6, print bad. That's not right. And then I can say elif 6 is greater than 7. Also not true, right? So I'm gonna print print no. And then I can put some more. No matter how many of these you want. Let's say these are all false statements. Oh crap. Yeah, and then you just have else. If all else fails, print zebra, and it's gonna print zebra because all those are wrong, right? So, but if this one was right, so if I say if 5 is less than 6, we're gonna get bad, and then that's fine. And then if I change this one, we'll get that case, the no. So yeah, I'm assuming you pretty much know how these work because we've done them a lot in the assignments. I can't think of anything else with them. And just remember, like, if you have and, say like and 5 is greater than 6 and 1 is greater than 10, 20. So we're gonna get or I switch this around. I want to get back to zebra. I like zebras. Wait, what is going on? 6 is greater than 7. There's zebra. Okay. So remember, like, when you concatenate them, or just have put on that and don't put another if because that's bad. You get an error. Just put the if because remember this is kind of like putting this all in parentheses and saying like here's this big condition that I'm defining. It's going to decide if this next part of my code should run. And I guess I should have said that earlier. Like conditionals are saying like I only want this code to run if say like the server is off, and that's what I'm going to figure out inside of this thing, right? And then putting conditionals inside of functional conditionals. Oh, okay, so you can nest them. So I'm going to show you a trick. So I'm going to say if 5 is actually I'm going to say x equals 0. I'm going to say if x is less than 7, and then I'm going to say if x is less than 8, and then if x is less than 9, print success. And that's going to print success, right? But this is kind of inefficient. You're going to get ifs way out to the end of the page. So one way to just do this instead is just turn these into ands. So I can say if and that. Or this if is only going to work if that one works. So it's kind of like saying and. So this is a way to just like shorten it up. And remember, you have to have it at the right indentation. There we go, same thing. And remember, this wouldn't work if I put in like a 7, or put in a 8, because 8 would not be less than 7, right? So that I'm not gonna get it. And I think that's all I see here. And remember to take a look at this. This is like a little confusing the first time. And then here's like the broadly scoping thing. We got the length of something. You put in like a string or something. Or you don't want to just do it like an int. Some kind of collection of items like a string or list or something. And then str is going to turn it into a string. Int is going to turn it into a number. Remember, you cannot turn an int of a float into an int. Then float is going to turn into a float, and it doesn't care if it's a float or an int in the string. So that's kind of like the catch-all here. And then print, you have multiple arguments. It's going to separate them by spaces. You can also concatenate them with pluses, but you cannot do commas outside of your print statement. Input is going to take prompts from the user, or stuff from the user, and then type is going to show you what type it is. Operators, like and, if, and then remember this exponent. Yeah, okay. And there's no turtle. Turtle was just for fun at the beginning. Don't worry about that. Okay, and I think that's kind of it. So if you have any other questions on this stuff, feel free to let me know on Piazza or something, or in the comments down below. And if there's anything wrong in this, messed up, let me know. I'll give you free candy if you find an error. So there you go. Good luck on the test.